Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to AJ Revs. Today's another voiceover video, so don't mind that. I'm also testing out a new setup for my camera. This is actually a mount I set up on my bike today. I think I prefer the chin mount over the mount on the bike, but that's just personal preference. Also, the one I bought actually ended up being kind of loose, so it kind of, as I rode, the camera started leaning forward and leaning backwards, depending on wherever the stand of the camera was leading. So if you notice that, don't mind it. But yeah. But I'm just trying out a new camera angle this time. But that's all. So today I'm actually wanting to talk about how I chose the bike I have, and also the process of buying it and finding it. So the bike I have is a CB300FA. The A is honestly just about the ABS brakes. But the CB300F 2015 is what I have. The bike was not my first option, honestly. The bike I really wanted to get here was actually the CB500F. But I ended up with the 300 because that is what I could find, and it was also in my price range. The only thing that I found out about the bike that was kind of off was the mirror. As you can see here, I'm actually parking my bike because I realized my mirror is just flailing around in the wind. I'm struggling a bit with the stand to get it down. But yeah, so I also was fixing my chin strap because it was a bit tight on my head, just adjusting my helmet. But yeah, so as you can see here, the mirror is still super loose, so I actually fixed that with a wrench of mine to keep them more tight. But I tried tightening it with my hand, it didn't work. But after this drive here, I actually tightened it with a wrench. So that's all good. It is a little bit still unstable because it's not the proper what is it called, or washer for those nuts. But yeah, I'll probably get a new washer for it anytime soon anyway, so it's just something wedged in there between the bolts for now to keep it tightened as I drive and practice. Since the mirror was loose pretty much the whole ride, I actually just kind of ignored the mirror, but that's also why in the practice for the course for the license of the motorcycle, we actually didn't have mirrors on our bike. We actually practiced with no mirrors and just relying on shoulder checks. So shoulder checks are always important. That's why we practice them, guys. So good thing I practiced that a lot during the course before getting my license. So the mirror kind of didn't affect me that much, but still a little bit annoying that I didn't have a mirror. But yeah, so I want to go over how I chose my bike, where I found it, price range, all of that kind of thing. So the initial bike I actually was dreaming of when I was practicing and like getting my motorcycle license and all that was actually the CB500F. So the only difference is that this one's a 300cc bike instead of a 500. It's also a little bit older than I wanted. It's a 2015, but it still runs great. So, and it only had about 21,000 kilometers on it when I bought it, so not much at all. The reason I wanted the CB500F was actually for the style of the bike. Like, I loved the look of the bike. For me, the bike looks great. It's like a more of a standard commuter bike, but also you can have fun with it at the same time. The one I wanted was actually supposed to be black, but the one I have is white. But I don't actually mind it. It's still a nice looking bike and has everything I wanted on it, so I didn't really mind too much. But yeah, as I was saying, one of the major reasons I actually bought this bike was the seat height. I'm a pretty short guy. I only measure in at about 5'2", so I needed a bike that was short enough where I can still reach the ground. And the seat height on the CB500F was actually about 30 to 31 inches, I think. so it's not high at all. And the CB300F, it's pretty much the same thing, so the seat height was all good for that. I still only like reach probably like half of my foot onto the ground when I put my foot down, but that's besides the point. And I also wanted a 500 to start off with because I knew a 500 was a good in-between place where I could start, where I can work on practicing, but yet also grow into the bike a little bit more, because it was a 500cc. But that actually didn't work out, so I did end up getting a 300, which at the end of the day is probably actually even better for a beginner like me who just got their license. So 300cc, smaller engine, a little less power, but I mean, since I'm just starting to learn and practicing, it doesn't really matter too much. But maybe next year or next season for riding, I might be interested in getting a higher cc bike, maybe a CB500F, the one I actually wanted. But the one I have now is practical. It was a good price, and everything like that, so I don't mind it at all. Love the bike, super chill, takes me where I want to go. Like, nothing bad about it. I can't say anything bad about the bike. But yeah, so I actually ended up finding the bike on Facebook Marketplace. That was the main place I was checking for bikes. I was looking at a lot of CB500s, but one of them was out of the city from where I am, and I was trying to get the seller to send videos and images of the bike, but they weren't very communicative, and that one just ended up falling through. There was another bike that I actually checked out. I was able to check it out in person. It was a CB500, I think it was 2016. But that bike, it looked really good. Like, it was in decent conditions. The tires might have need replacing. They seemed a bit worn, but other than that, the bike seemed pretty good. The one thing about the bike, though, is that it didn't start. So when I got there, their road was actually under construction, so I wasn't actually able to test drive it. But when I was trying to just at least start up the bike, it wouldn't start. I think there must have been something wrong with the battery. Like, they must have left it on, because it did start for a second. Like, it turned on, and then all of the electronics were working. But as soon as I tried to start the bike, it wouldn't run. The battery died. The bike wouldn't get up. So definitely an issue with the battery there. And to me, that was just kind of like a bad sign. Like, that bike was actually sitting in their garage for like a long time. It was sitting for like a year, and the oils need replacing, the brake fluids, all that kind of stuff. So for me, that would have been a higher investment to do, because I would have had to change the tires, I would have had to change the oil, the fluids, I would have had to get it safetied. So the bike just wasn't ready to take out to the road right away. As opposed to the one I actually did get, it had new tires. The seller just replaced the tires. They're 2025 tires, I believe. They just changed the oil. They just changed the brake fluids. They got the bike safetied, so it was ready for the road, ready to get insured and all that. That's one of the high reasons why I ended up getting that CB300 instead of a 500. Also, price range was something I was looking at. So my budget for a bike was actually about $8,000 to $6,000. I was possibly thinking of getting a new bike. The CB500F 2025 was up for sale in a dealership. I think it was going for about $8,000 to $9,000, I think. But that seemed a bit more pricey for me, because I would have had to pay the sales taxes for that, also pay for the insurance and everything like that. And also, I knew as a beginner rider, it happens where you do drop the bike. Actually, prior to filming this, I did fall into my yard on my bike. So I can show you here. There's some like dirt actually on my side mirror and my handlebar here that I have to wipe off. But I did drop my bike at the start of this session here, just before I left my house. So as you know, beginner riders, they tend to drop their bikes. It happens. Like, it's even older riders, more experienced riders, they tend to drop it every now and then. It's not 100% certain that you're never going to drop your bike, you know? So getting a new bike also seemed kind of iffy to me, to the point where I didn't know if I was worthy enough to get a new bike, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I bought a new bike and I dropped it, I would have been so annoyed and so mad at myself, you know? Because I knew for a fact that I wasn't a pro rider. I didn't have too much experience. So it would have just been a bad idea to get a new bike. And also to invest that kind of money when the bike just kind of depreciates right off the bat once you start riding it. So for me, it wasn't that good of a choice, and so I opted out from getting a new bike. It would have been cool, mind you, like, it still would have been cool to get a new bike, but it just wasn't for me. So another reason for choosing my bike is that it was a Honda. For me, I drive a Honda. I drive a Honda Civic, super reliable. To me, the name Honda is super reliable. It's something I know that will last for a long time. It's something that can take tons and tons of mileage and it'll still be okay. So for me, for my first bike, I knew Honda was something I really wanted to go with. I know there's a lot of other brands cool, like Yamaha, Kawasaki, that I could also check into, but for me, the look of a Honda also seemed really nice, so I ended up going with Honda. But yeah, those are the main reasons I ended up choosing my bike. But finding it was the hardest part. So during my whole course, and like even prior to my course, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and saving a bunch of different bikes for me to choose from for once I did get my license. I had all kinds of bikes from what was it called, CF Moto to Kawasaki to Yamaha, but for me, I did want that Honda CB500. So there was 2 bikes that I did check, as I mentioned before, but those ones didn't work out. After I did check those bikes out in person, or the one bike and then the other seller didn't get back to me, I did find the CB300F that just got listed. So prior to me getting my license, that was not up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Only after I got my license and after I checked that first other bike in person, this one came on to sale on Facebook Marketplace. And for me, that was kind of a nice sign. And when I checked the description, it said that it was well maintained. It had only 21,000 kilometers on it. It was newly safetied. It had new tires. Like all of the signs were like flashing to me that like things I wanted from a bike. And so I ended up going to test ride the bike. The bike looked fantastic when I got there. She let me know ahead of time that the mirror was loose and that I just needed to tighten it. So, like, she was being completely honest with me. She was telling me where she got the tires. She was telling me all the things about the bike. And I did the test ride. Everything seemed fine other than the mirror. The shifting was a bit weird. It wouldn't shift into neutral that easily, but for me, that was okay. I actually ended up fixing that right when I got home with the bike. I just had to tighten the slack on the clutch cable. But yeah, so everything seemed so nice about the bike, so I knew I had to do it. I made the deal on the spot there. This bike was actually way cheaper than a CB500, the other CB500s that I was looking at, which was around 6,000. This one I ended up getting for 4,200. So really good deal. I saved a lot of money for insurance costs and sales tax costs. So for me, it was a wonderful choice, and I'm very happy with the bike I ended up getting. And here, actually, my camera just died after I parked. I was just going to take a quick break and put my camera to my chin mount instead of the bike mount. But my camera ended up dying here, so there's actually no more footage after this. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about in this video here. I also am planning a new video coming out next about dropping your bike. As I said before, I did end up dropping my bike at this before this recording, and since this recording, I actually have dropped my bike a few times. So I just want to do a little story time for those kind of those moments, because it does happen, especially when you're a new rider. And I just want to like air out some of the stories I can tell about stalling bikes and dropping it on the next video. So stay tuned for that, guys. But that's pretty much all for today. If you guys have any questions, just leave them down in the comments and I'll get back to you guys. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ride safe. AJ Revs out.